Welcome your host, Caddy Frink, as she leads discussions about substance use disorder and the journey to recovery. You're listening to Redefining Recovery, a recovery revolution.
Gotta just get that little bit of music in there, and then I just know it's time to roll. Hello, everybody. My name is Caddy Frink. I am your host for Redefining Recovery, a recovery revolution, here on AM 950, the progressive radio station. So who's across the table from me?
Molly Posey.
Molly Posey. How are you, dear?
I'll be honest, it's been a morning, but
Okay.
I'm upright, so we're good.
There we go. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're just kind of in space, so that's great. I've been waiting for Molly to come in here and have a conversation with me.
I'm finally here.
Yes, you are. You have a good radio voice too, nice and deep.
Oh, I like it.
I know, it's great. So first of all, I do want to say thank you to our funders that we've had over the course of the last, it's been a year and a half, folks. This is so fantastical. Dreams do come true in recovery. That's what I can say. So thanks to some of our generous funders. Some of these have sunsetted, but we always want to give kudos where kudos can be. The Patrick and Amy Butler Foundation, Otto Bremer Trust, Sauer Family Foundation, Hardenberg Foundation, along with many other funders. We've had some donations from people. We've got a couple of corporate people that have come in. And I also want to say thank you to our volunteers that we have at Minnesota Recovery Connection, people that maybe have listened to this show, people who are taking away notes from this. And I just want to let you know, we are in interesting times here in the nonprofit world. So I'm never going to not say, if you happen to be donating at the end of the year for fiscal year 2025, if you feel as though you want to give to the recovery community, or maybe even give to community, right, Molly? Community in general. We are happy to take your donations. We have no problems with that. We would welcome that. We will send you a thank you letter. We will practically come and kiss your toes. But we are always looking for some resources. So with that being said, I'm going to start off the way we always start off. So Molly, even though you had a busy morning, What is right with you today?
I made a decision. I made a good decision.
Ooh.
That was really difficult. I should have made it last year. But I really tried to make something work, and I made it, and I'm upright after this morning. So that's all I can ask for.
Okay. So big decisions are hard, and sometimes it takes a while, right?
It does. That has to do, at work, and
okay,
with work. And it was extremely hard because I have a personal relationship with this person, so it makes it even more difficult to make those tough choices. And but I made it.
Okay, so if anybody's watching this on video, I'm looking at her, she's looking at me, and I have no idea what she's about to have made a decision on. So
what's right with you today, Caddy? My God, look at her.
Just got to feed the machine. What's right with me today? Let's see. Today I am upright as well. This is a very good thing. I get to be incredibly grateful. Yesterday, I was able to celebrate 25 years. So this was on Monday, whenever this show, so that was on December 8th that I celebrated 25 years in recovery.
Oh my God.
I know. And I have gotten more go girl, and thank you for community, and thank you for this and that, and also so proud of yous. And since my mother is gone, my grandmother is gone, my dad is gone, my family is my family that I have of choice. But I just want to say thank you to everybody that ever supported me, that thinks about what recovery looks like from the perspective if I've been able to shine a light on. I am so grateful for everybody who has reached out to me. So that is what I am truly happy about, because having this recovery time, it's wonderful. But then if I look at you and you remember what it was like before, and what gets you to that recovery time, there's a lot of memories that come in. And I was kind of wrestling with those yesterday and kind of going, what does that look like? I had to have the consequence of a DWI. I was just telling somebody here at the station, I had to have my car taken away forever from me. I had to go to the workhouse. I had to have an ankle monitor. I had to have I know
You were in the workhouse
for a very short time, but I was. And I know, see, it shocks
like,
everybody who
what?
knows me. I know. And it's like, these are our real stories,
Mhm.
right? Didn't have my license for a year, had to retest, had to go through it, pay a lot of money back in the day, even. So it's like all those things are the reality around my recovery for 25 years. So when I piece it all together, it's like, whoo. So I shocked you a little bit, didn't
You
I?
did.
Yeah.
But I like it.
Yeah. I know. Sarah at work, I told her that, and she just looked at me with big pumpkin eyes, like, "You did what? You had what happen?"
I'm trying to. Did you have to wear like a jumpsuit type thing or like a
Oh,
actual?
yeah, baby.
What color?
Oh, orange.
I love it.
Yeah, that's why
Blondes look good in orange.
and I hate orange to this very day. This very day. It is a color my boyfriend wants to put like an orange something in his place. I'm like, nope.
Nope.
And he lives in a separate apartment from me. I've said, no, you can't do it. Anyway, so we are here, Molly Posey. Where do you work currently right now?
Recovery Corps. I'm a program manager.
And
so Impact, and then
what is Impact? So describe that to people who are listening.
So it's one of the largest nonprofit in the United States, and so there's multiple programs underneath through AmeriCorps, and so
Name
one of
off
them.
some of them.
So Reading and Math Corps.
Yep.
Then there's Heading Home Corps, helping with the unhoused, and then Recovery Corps, helping and training those that are early in recovery, and then they want to get into the field. And so it's a 11-month service term, and the luxury of it and the benefit is being able to coach them on their recovery, give them that support, and get them to the end of their service term with as many skills as possible so they can maintain employment afterwards.
And who was part of that program just a couple, 2, 3, 4 years ago?
Well, me.
Yeah.
I'm an alumni. I'm like, who?
Yeah, you.
What are you trying to say to me? Tell me. So I'm an alumni.
Yeah.
I served my first service term at Minnesota Recovery Connection.
And what year was that?
21, 22.
21, 22.
Yep. And
I remember her in her little cubicle.
Yes.
Trying to pull her life together.
Oh my God. It was a disaster, but I made it.
No, it wasn't a disaster.
Well, it wasn't. I thought it was.
And that's the change.
Yeah. And the positive reinforcement I got from the office and from Wendy Jones, Caddy Frink, Justin McNeil, the confidence I developed, I finally found my thing.
Yeah.
I finally felt like I belonged. I'm with my people. Mm-hmm. And here I am today. Love my job. I'm okay saying that I'm really good at it.
As you should.
And I've never been able to say that without feeling, like I'm a fraud. Like, don't say that. It's embarrassing. Right. And I can say that, and I'm okay saying it.
Well, and you should. I mean, between having done the job that you support people on, yep. Now you supervise the people who are doing the job. You've done the job. You know the benefits of it. You better darn tootin' well say that you have confidence, because you're not. It's not like you can. And then you also are a woman in recovery.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes. That's most important. So March, I will be will be 7 years. 7 years.
Wow.
And it's unbelievable. But at the same time, oh my God, I'm still cleaning up some of my mess, to believe it or not. And
the challenges are real.
It is.
And, one of the things that I describe to people who are listening to this, who are not in recovery, and that is people who are in recovery, who have had substance use, have some, shall we say, some background.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe many of us have. I just sort of disclosed all the background I have. It's a long time ago, but it's still very, very real.
Yeah.
And the fact is that even people who do not have substance use disorder, who do not have the kind of issues we have, they got stuff they got to clean up too.
Yes.
And it takes years. So anybody who is struggling with somebody who has got substance use disorder, or have stuff that they did maybe in their youth or in times, it takes time to clean that up. Yes. And it's okay. So when we come back from break, I'm going to have Molly kind of give a little meat on the bones to her
I can't
story.
Wait.
I know. So it's just such a pleasure to have Molly here, because I've been waiting for this moment so that we can be together and talk about this. So thank you for listening to Redefining Recovery Revolution here on AM 950, the progressive radio station. So my name is Caddy Frink, and I will be back with Molly Posey in a flash of a pan of a second. Thank you for listening. I don't know this song either, but I always give credit to Aaron Fitzgerald, who started the show with me. Welcome back to Redefine Recovery Revolution. I came in with talking to Molly rather than remembering to intro the show. Hi, everybody. I'm Caddy Frink from Redefining Recovery Revolution here. I told every time I have a guest come in, I say, you know what, it's just going to be having a conversation. So all of you that are listening, just pretend you're having a conversation. And you get to listen to Molly and I chitter chatter. Who's in front of me?
Molly Posey,
And you work for?
Recovery Corps.
Which is a part of AMPAC. Now, I've always said that Habitat for Humanity is part of the big umbrella, correct?
Yep.
Okay. So just
Habitat for Humanity?
Yeah.
No.
Not part of the big umbrella of AMPAC?
Of AMPAC, no.
Of AmeriCorps?
Nope, of AmeriCorps. Nope, it's reading and math. It's kind of complicated. So Reading and Math Inc. is on the paychecks.
Okay.
But Serve Minnesota is above AMPAC, who is responsible for securing funding.
Okay.
And then underneath that is AMPAC. And then underneath AMPAC is
Recovery
all
Corps.
the programs.
All
Recovery
the
Corps
programs.
reading. Yeah.
No wonder why I've been confused all these years. There's many layers.
I'm
There's
still
many.
confused. When
Okay.
anybody asks me, I'm
But
like,
you were
"God,
really
please."
good there. You kind of see, and I have because I didn't know any better, I've said that it's Habitat for Humanity. But what happens is that people understand that that's a community based, it's a program. So now I know how I can differentiate that.
Yep.
So thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So Molly, last we left you, Molly was saying that she was an actual member of her Recovery Corps program. But before she got there, I would like you to give us a snapshot of what your substance use disorder, like maybe when did it start? When did it begin to, shall we say, you kind of got off the rails? And then how did you come into recovery and kind of those different phases? Give us a little snapshot.
Okay, so I mean, honestly, it started just the classic, the generic, not generic, but a common. You starts in high school.
Yeah.
I always had to work really hard, different than my brother and my sister. Didn't I was treated differently by my mom. And
work
then it
really
started,
hard. What do you mean by that?
Work really hard with grades. I just
okay.
felt
School
like I
was a
learned
challenge.
differently. School was a challenge, and it really affected my confidence and my self-esteem. I always felt stupid and lack of support at home.
I'm giving you a fist bump.
Oh,
sister.
I was like, what are you doing? Are you dapping me up?
No, I'm giving you a fist bump.
That's the same thing, Caddy.
What's that?
Dapping you up is the same thing as a fist pump.
Okay, I'm too old.
My kids, my kids tell me that.
Okay, go on. Sorry, interruption.
So yeah, it started in high school. Just began smoking weed all the time, going to school, really high, skipping constantly. Ended up having to almost had to repeat 10th grade, but instead my mom used cocaine with the vice principal. And so she had a conversation with him and talked him into allowing homeschooling for my entire 10th grade year.
Oh, my heavens to Betsy.
But I learned better. It was one-on-one.
Okay.
I was able to focus more. It was that one-on-one setting where you can work at your own pace, and
you didn't have all those distractions, right?
Didn't have
all
the
those humans distracting you.
Yep,
absolutely.
And so so it kind of started there, and ended up finishing my senior year, and I ended up getting pregnant right out of high school.
Okay.
So there starts my crappy relationships, and
we'll call them troubled relationships.
All right, troubled codependency.
Yeah.
Trying to define myself through my relationships and accepting treatment that I did not deserve, and I didn't care at the time, honestly.
So when you say treatment, you mean being
cheating
treated
on me, being treated poorly.
Yep.
Certain levels of abuse, but you don't really want to admit it's abuse because it's not physical, and so you think it's not a big deal. You excuse it, and you accept cheating on you and whatnot. So I felt like I handled it really well, though. I never put my son in the middle. Nice. I allowed him to still go to his grandparents' house and for visits, whether his dad was there or not, and kind of accepted that boys are different than women and than girls. I feel like we have to grow up quicker, and it's harder for them to accept their responsibilities. So I did the best I could.
Were you using during the time when your son was growing up?
Okay, nope, I did not in the beginning, and then that started later on. Probably I moved out of my parents' house when he was a year old.
Okay.
Extremely excited but very difficult to pay rent. I still worked, but it was low income housing.
Yeah.
And so I had to pay rent, but then still was looked at by my very small town of 600 people like I was on welfare, which affected me even though I was working 2 jobs. Parents were not supported or supportive at all. They claimed to raise my son, but yet they didn't. I couldn't even get them to babysit. I'd go into town 10 minutes away. By the time I got to Winona, I talk with my hands.
I know you got to quit hitting the table. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Thanks,
there you
Caddy.
go. Yeah.
And so, yeah, so it was constant where I would then get to my friend's house and get a call 2 minutes later saying, he's crying, you need to come home. But yet claimed to have raised him. And then when I reached out, my drug use picked up when he was about,
what was your substance at that
cocaine at that time.
Okay.
2 to 3 years. He was 2 to 3 years old. And it got to a point where it was so bad. It affected my job, my parenting. And I was on the couch, basically in a fetal position, crying, talking to my mom. And I went to her for help. She came over. And I told her the truth, and she shoved it under the rug and walked out like it didn't even happen.
So let me just ask a couple of questions. So what's interesting about your story is that I didn't have a child, but I had sort of a ill mother. And so you were what would be called to a certain degree a high functioning substance user. You went to work, you did the best you could, you had housing, you had a child, you did everything you knew how to do. But then it all becomes so overwhelming. So the substance then begins to take over, and you ask for help, and then
it's not there.
And the thing that I want people to hear, people who are listening to this, I want you to listen to the anguish in this woman's voice, because I can see how hard this was. And when you know somebody or have seen somebody or are related to somebody who is just hanging on by a thread, that is very true. Somebody's hanging on by a thread. And please don't do what you had done to you, which is, oh, we're just not going to look at that. We're going to just, we're going to say other things.
Right.
So I always try to bring people who are listening into sometimes what the mind of what we have gone through. So when they see it, and rather than judge, it's more like, what do I need to know about these complexities that are going on?
Yes.
So mom shoved your use under the rug, and where did we go from there?
She ignored, literally she didn't even respond to it. She got up and walked out of my apartment. And
devastating.
I mentioned my dad, alcoholic, that ran our entire house, and my mom emotionally checked out. And the older I got, my job was to go out and get my dad's bottles out of the car, and it was constant. And then, kind of fast forward, I quit using for quite some time. After it got really, really bad, though, I picked it back up when I met my future husband. And we met at the bar that I had bartended at for my second job. He walked in. It was 2001, right when 9/11 happened.
Oh boy!
He walked into a going away party, and then he came up to me and he said, "Do you want to go do some rails?" And I'm like, "Yes, I do."
Really? You had been in recovery, and it was that offer, and you're just off to the races again.
Yep.
Because your mind.
Yep. And so so that was it. And so I picked it back up, but he could put it down. Right. And so he didn't understand it. And so it just progressively got worse. And it got to the point where I could not show up anywhere. I ended up losing my job. And the last day that I would be coming home, I had to move back into my parents' house.
And how old are you at this point?
Oh God, I was 20, it was 2003. So I think 23 when I went into treatment. My first time.
Okay.
My dad approached me and he took me out for a drive, and he said, "Molly, look, this is the deal. You're coming home at 4 or 5 in the morning with like your shirt covered in Coke, and it's landing your nose, and you need to get help."
Wow. Even dad was saying this to you, the man who you were getting the bottles for.
And so I went to my doctor who I trusted, and she helped me get into treatment. And but then I didn't have anybody to take care of my son. My mom would not take care of him. So my aunt had to come over from Wisconsin, move into my apartment, and take care of my son. He was 4 or 5, I think it was. So I stayed 30 days. I finished successfully. Got out, and with 30 days, they warned me, stay away from your boyfriend, who was my future husband, he will always be the reason
That you
and the
go back.
catalyst that you go back. And I'm like, what the hell are they talking about? They don't know what they're talking about. Treatments never know what they're talking about.
Of course not.
No.
They have
Nope.
no information
Yeah.
about how
So,
recovery or
yeah.
substance use works.
But I had private insurance, so 28 days is all they pay for.
Yep.
By the time I'm ready to get to work and done being angry, they tell you you're cured, and then out you go. So
with no plan,
nothing.
no continuing support. And this
Right.
is where what we do at
Yeah.
Minnesota Recovery Connection can be that catalyst.
Right.
I mean, you are a prime example of you are in private insurance. They're going
Yes.
to take you 28
Yep.
days, not even 30.
No,
Jeez
not- yeah.
Louise. And then they say, here, like you said, you're cured.
Yeah.
You know what, folks? We're barely done with the substance
Right.
in our system. So that is really one of the reasons why Minnesota Recovery Connection came into existence many years ago, which is, what does somebody do in the traditional system? I'm using air quotes, when they're out after 28 days and then they're saying, go do life. And you're like, huh?
Mm-hmm.
How the heck do I do
Right.
that?
I don't even
So
know what recovery means at that age.
you don't, you mean,
No.
you don't, I mean, you're just like flying by the
yeah.
seat of your pants at
Yeah.
that point. It's
You
like,
have no
oh,
support. I mean, honestly,
No.
my boyfriend thought, he told me before I left that I was, no, that was the second time. He looked at it like he didn't understand because he could put it down.
right.
So at one point, fast forward when I relapsed again, he told me that I was faking it. I was faking being an addict. And so it
Gosh
was,
golly, we
yeah.
don't fake this
Yeah.
stuff.
So when I got out with zero support system back in my hometown of Winona, I had made friends and connections in treatment. So I would constantly be driving from Winona to the cities to go to meetings and hang out with these people.
Wow.
And then I was accused by everybody of using. And what are you doing? So then you're accused of all this.
Because
And
you're going to the city
because
to
you're
go
going
to
to the
meetings,
cities to do what I need to do.
and they think you're using
And they
because
think
you're
you're
leaving
using
town.
because I'm leaving.
Oh, good heavens to Betsy
And
people.
so that leaves the door open. It's like, why not go back? So
You did.
yeah, I eventually went back 30 days. I was 30 days clean outside of treatment. And my drug dealer, who lived right next door to me,
Because you were in subsidized housing.
who was
So
actually my
they-
boyfriend of 2 years that I just broke up with, the one I just told you about. Fast
Oh
forward.
my.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, the plot thickens.
The plot thickens. And so, yeah, so I ended up, I was, how I quit was I got pregnant with my future husband.
Mm.
I found out I was pregnant with my second child. I continued to use for, God, probably a few weeks. That was it. Had my last hurrah. And I stopped for years and years and years. I think I was 30 to 35 when I picked it back up.
And that's
30, probably 30.
I've
yeah.
heard that more times than not, that a woman will get pregnant and that there is some sort of like switch that flips in many women, not all women. It's like, I can't do this to my child. And that was great. You were able to do that. And then
we ended up getting, we were married. We did things backwards, obviously. So we had moved in together, had a baby first, moved in. That ended up getting engaged after, we'd been together 8 years before we got married. We were together 18 years and 3 kids together. And
wow.
yeah. And so it was great. We probably had 5 wonderful years where we were happy. We were that family. He got along. He was a great stepdad to my oldest son, Damien. And then it just started all falling apart. The more life, it kicked in, finances, more kids, and neither one of us had coping skills. So it eventually continued. It started falling apart, and we ended up buying a house and then decided to get married.
Well, you really did just do it all backwards, but you know what? You did. You did it.
And then after we got married, I ended up struggling. I started struggling again, kind of not showing up, not coming home. And then it kind of started getting pretty bad. And then I ended up getting pregnant again.
What substance were you using?
Cocaine again. Yep.
Okay,
still
so
cocaine.
And it was your choice.
Yep. But then ended up having, when I delivered my third child, my third son, I ended up having a postpartum hemorrhage.
Oh.
And it was serious. And so it took the complications from that and the healing time from that. I ended up was prescribed
the good old opiates.
Yay! And, oh my God, it was amazing. And I loved opiates. I already loved it. They labeled me an opiate addict the first time I went to treatment. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I don't know what they're talking about. So thinking I could handle it. And then that was it. I just, life was wonderful. Again, I felt overwhelming sense of love. I'm happy. I have energy, da, da, da. So I ended up going to a pain management doctor and walked out of there with enough oxycodone and Oxycontin for a cancer patient, literally.
So you literally got wrapped up
Oh
in
God,
the
yes.
entire
Yeah.
opiate thing, and they
Yeah.
just said, "Here."
Yep. Oh my
Just
God, I was handed, it was amazing. It grabbed me like, it grabbed me. I was soccer mom. I didn't miss a beat. I never did not show up in every area of my house, my family, my kids.
So let me ask you a question. So you're running on all cylinders,
Mhm.
high as a kite, but
Mhm.
you're able to function.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, and this is something that I want people to hear, and that is when you're on the opiates, then you become you need more and
Yeah.
more and more and
Mhm.
more. What was that like? How long were you on opiates? And
7 years.
7 years, and then your use continued to grow. And
Yes.
then
Yep.
were you part of, they cut everything off? Or-
Yeah, no, well, so what happened was, I mean, it got to the point, my first prescription, every 30 days you get a new refill. And
Yep.
so that first 30 days I ended up taking more.
Mhm.
And I ran out like a week early and the withdrawals kicked in. I didn't even know what the hell was happening. It was so bad. And I would do anything to not feel that again.
Because that is
That
what
was it.
opiate, that is when
Yes.
people run out of their pills and they
Mhm.
turn into a basket case and
Yep.
a biatch.
Oh, it's just, you get
And
physically
it's
ill.
so
You
ill.
can't function. It was
Yeah.
so bad. And so anyways, it just progressively got worse. It got to the point where my brother who introduced me to this doctor, he was on the same amount of pills, same prescription, same milligram. My dad was on morphine and Dilaudid. And so me and my brother and my dad had this whole system going where
Oh,
we were all abusing, all overusing them. And so when one would run out,
you go to
we
the other
would go to the
person.
next person, and it continued for
You had your own
years.
you had your own
Oh yeah,
pharmaceutical system
yep.
going.
And so then it got to a
Wow.
point, though, it got so bad where if our prescriptions were off and we were both out or he was low, I started breaking into my brother's house and stealing his pills. I would be literally tearing up his house trying to find these pills. Same with my dad. Feeling
Wow,
horrible
Molly.
because if they run out, they're going to go through the same thing. But
You were number one.
Nope, that was it, dude. I could not feel that withdrawal. And so my brother ended up getting one of those huge, like, bank looking safes. And I'm like,
He
God
locked
damn
you
it.
up.
What the hell is wrong with you? Oh,
Be careful with the language,
got
just
you.
a little
I
bit.
know, it's like, so yeah. So anyways, it got so bad then that towards the end of the 7 years, I was filing false police reports in order to get refills from my prescription or from my insurance company. They will approve a refill if you lost the medication or if you
Oh
were
my.
robbed. And so and
You
then,
got really, I hope
oh,
you,
it was
my
so
my
bad.
big like 25-year recovery eyes are looking at
Yeah.
you like, what would you do to get more oxy? And this is what
Anything.
you would
Yep.
do.
But I went to my husband. He knew this. He started getting a lockbox to try and dole out my pills and help me control it. And I just broke into everything. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
And then I went to him and I said, I can't do this anymore.
Right.
I don't know how to live without them. I need treatment.
Help.
And he would not do it. And he didn't want to go through the embarrassment of work and didn't want to take care of the kids on his own. And what am I going to tell my work? And So there was zero support. And because of my family, I had nobody.
What
And
did you
so
do?
I was at Good View Days in Winona, softball tournament. I had one pill left. The bottle barely, when you pick up a refill,
Mhm.
that bottle, that
That
full bottle, that
noise.
noise is like, oh my God, there's nothing like
It would
it.
be like music, literally, to
But
your
then you
ears.
shake it throughout the month and it's like, oh my God, the fear of it,
Wow.
of what's coming. I was out of options. My dad had been taken off of his medications by the VA.
Yeah.
My brother
Had his in his
the
safe.
store is closed.
Okay.
And so I ended up running into an old using buddy. I had one pill left and knew what was going to be happening tomorrow. Ran into somebody I used to use cocaine with, and he cut me up a line in the garage of his parents' house, and I looked at it right before I went to go snort it. The dollar bill was over it, and I looked at it and I'm like, this does not look like coke. And I asked him, I said, what the heck is this?
Oh no.
And he said, it's better. Don't worry about it. I knew exactly what it was, but I didn't care.
It was meth, right?
It was meth.
Yeah.
And that was it. And so I thought it curbed my withdrawals. And so I started trading my pills for meth and was able to control it for about 2 weeks and convinced myself this was better than opiates.
I don't
because
mean
the
to laugh. It's
withdrawals,
just so crazy.
you don't really withdraw from
The
from
same
meth.
way,
It's
yeah.
not the same thing. You think you can function. Yeah.
Okay. Just saying. Keep going.
Yeah. And so then, so 6 years later, I lost everything. I ended up getting my first 5th degree possession. I started using, I was 35. And so 2015, I think, and it got to a point where the choices and decisions I was making and how I was showing up for my kids was just, it was awful.
Yeah.
But again, no support with going to treatment. My husband would continue to travel, leave me home with the kids, knowing that I was not able to care for
Not
them.
function. Yeah.
Because when you're up 3 to 4 days and you have a choice to make, I either stay awake and keep using so I don't fall out for 24 hours and risk my
Whatever.
3-year-old daughter, 2-year-old. She was 2 years old. 2 years old. And so anyways, my son ended up getting fired from his paper route.
Oh.
And they ended up becoming truant at school, not showing up. And fast forward, my husband went on a business trip and he came back and our kids were taken away when he came back from that business trip. They went to go live with my mom. My sister started calling CPS on me. And
it's the most terrible thing in the world, but sometimes it's the best
it
thing.
needed to happen, but yeah. Okay. It needed to happen. And so, so it ended up, it was back and forth. And 4 or 5 treatments later and no support at home. He ended up, the last time I was in treatment after I'd been in and out of jail, he ended up serving me with divorce papers 2 days after I got there and went for full custody of the kids. And I understood it, but he did everything he could along the way to block me. Basically, it was like the moment I was sick, the moment I needed support, it was like he was able to stand up tall. He didn't vanish, but he was the man.
Oh, he was the one
in
who
charge.
was in total
It was,
control.
that was it. And so
vanished in terms of support.
Yes,
but took the reins.
The constant doing whatever he could to keep me sick, not taking my family's offer of help, and ended up constantly threatening me in front of the kids with CPS. And I'm going to call the cops on your mom. She's going to jail. And I ended up moving out because it was better for the kids, less fighting if I wasn't there.
Right.
And then I find out years later, after I finally, in recovery, understanding it, doing well, that he wasn't there either. My son, he was, 8 to 10 years old. He raised my kids. And he wrote a paper on it recently when he was in 11th grade. And I read it and it was a gut punch and I couldn't believe it. And the thing that stuck with me the most is there was no food in the house. He didn't know where dad was. He wasn't able to call me when he was home because if he did, he would get in trouble. And so he said there was nothing in the fridge except for a moldy lid jar of spaghetti sauce and something else. And that's what he would feed his brother and sister. He raised them. And it was really bad. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Molly Posey.
Yeah.
Oh
God, there's more.
I'm sure. Well, and
gosh.
that's the thing, we're about ready to take our
Yeah.
next break. And I feel like we need to do like 2 shows on this one.
Mhm.
But this is a story of somebody who gets stuck in substance use. Well, you start with a family that's not supportive. Then you get into relationships that, because you don't know how to have strong relationships, then you get into codependent relationships. And then, it's like your story is a cycle that is repeated.
Mhm.
And your story is unique, of course, to you, but it is anybody who's listening to what Molly went through, there's so much there that people have probably heard other people's stories. So when we come back from break, I'm going to have Molly tie this into a bow and then bring us to where she is now. So thank you for listening to Redefining Recovery, Recovery Revolution here on AM 950. My name is Caddy Frink and I'm with
Molly Posey.
And we'll be back in a flash. Thank you
This
for
guitar
listening.
needs 6 strings, 'cause without it there's no song.
Welcome back to Redefining Recovery, Recovery Revolution. I'm like buzzing right through the music because we got some more story to be had from Molly. So Molly just talked about the struggle that she had with her substance use. She had 3 children. She had a partner, a couple of partners, 4 children. 4 children. She just gave me the high sign. 4 children. And the struggle is real, isn't it, Molly?
Yeah.
And particularly when you don't have the support from what we think we should have support from. And then all those lessons that we get taught when we don't have a supportive family and we have to like fend for ourselves. And it doesn't work so well for a long time. So pick us up where you have now got the children were taking care of themselves and now you have found recovery. When did you find your recovery?
2019.
Okay.
2019. And I always successfully completed treatment, but it's trying to go back to the same thing. And so I don't know why I keep turning that. So anyway, so I graduated treatment. They practically had to kick me out. I would not leave because I was so scared to leave. Treatment is easy. It's what happens after that.
Life after
knowing you
treatment.
don't have support. I had nothing left. The reality of, I call it going from a Walmart or a Target girl to a Walmart girl. I am no louder. I'm no longer allowed to. I'm kicked out of half the hotels in Winona. I can't rent there. I can't get a checking account because my credit's so low. I have a background now, and I cannot get a job at normal people jobs. I'm not deserving of that. That's what you feel like. You are climbing this hill, and it's you take 5 steps forward, and then somebody basically tells you, nope, you can't rent here. You can't work here.
And what I want to say in that is this is in a smaller community. Folks, you know what? Other people have other problems. Don't judge until you know the story behind the story. Give people a chance.
Yeah. Yep. It was, so I ended up, when I graduated treatment, I could not go home. I knew that I could not go home because it just wasn't working. And I knew that my ex-husband, going through a divorce on top of it. So I graduated, was going through a divorce, had absolutely nothing, and could not fight for anything with my kids because I did not have a leg to stand on, which is how he set that up.
So, perfect plan for you to fail yet again.
Yes, fail yet again. And that was the goal. And so I ended up living, this is ridiculous, but it's the reality of it. This is how determined I was to make this work. I lived in my parents' RV in Princeton, Minnesota, down by the river. Down by the river. And so I continued to just take steps. I could not go home. I did whatever I could. I slept on a friend's couch from treatment and worked my way towards trying to save up enough money. I live 4 hours from home. People judge me for abandoning my kids, but I didn't. I needed to do what I had to do to eventually be the mom that they deserved again.
Well, you had to find recovery. You had to find, you had to do whatever it took not to use again because the temptation was too large if you put yourself back into like what could have worked, right?
Yep. And I was in a relationship still from somebody that I had met while I was in addiction. And that was not good, abusive, physically, mentally, emotionally. And so I ended up getting a job and lost it a year later because of, this was around COVID, lost it because of my background. The state was behind on background checks. So I finally lost my job. And then I ended up running into a perfect opportunity. I got another job for a year, was able to collect that unemployment, make cash at this other job, found Minnesota Recovery Connection, Justin McNeil, Caddy Frink, took the RCA, didn't know what the heck I was going to, recovery coach, training. And I wanted what Caddy and Justin had. I wanted to be a part of Minnesota Recovery Connection. Didn't know how I was going to do it. But a year later, I ended up getting hired with Recovery Corps. I got a spot at MRC, Minnesota, and I just, oh my gosh, I was so excited.
Terrified.
Terrified. Moved to Bloomington. Still didn't have an apartment. And no apartment lined up because I was rejected from about 15 places because of my background.
Yep.
found an apartment, moved in, and started there, and have continued to work my way on up, but continuous struggles with no support except for the people that I've chosen to be my family. And just very recently, within the last 3 years, my husband, who has continued to use my children as a weapon, prevents me from, he will not allow me to see them. I get them for 2 days every 2 weeks. And no matter how strong I get in my recovery, I've got 7 years, he still does not allow me to see them any more than I do. And I cannot afford a lawyer, and I make too much money. And because I needed to stay up in the cities, and I could not disrupt their lives by taking them out of their home and bringing them up to this, I didn't know how to do it. And then my oldest son with my husband, he was abused. He suffered abuse by him. He was treated differently by him. And there was an incident where my son got to a point where he was carrying a knife around him with him to protect himself.
I remember that.
And there was an incident one night, and my ex-husband was attacking him, and he ended up getting stabbed. So right when I started with Recovery Corps as a program coach, I was going through a trial, and my son moved in with me. And overnight I ended up with my son moved back in, and I was going through a trial, and we won, but it has been one thing after the other. And I feel like it's not gotten any easier, but I am not going to give up. And same time as the trial, my dad passed away from alcoholism. And so it's just, it's my gosh, but I continue to push through, and I use that experience to help other people. I've stayed in therapy this entire time. I don't do meetings. I don't think you have to, but I found my pathway, which is what Caddy taught me.
Yes.
I wanted what Caddy had, and she's my mentor, and I told her she is never going to get rid of me, ever.
And I'm still here.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got like 3 minutes left in the show. And what I want to say is that what I did not know the intensity of your story, and still the struggle that has to this day. And what's important for people to know is that when people struggle with substance use disorder, there are consequences and consequences and consequences. But Molly is an incredible example of just keep moving forward.
All you can do.
You know, there's another story that she could tell us that has been really, really tough recently, but she's also knows what to use in terms of resources now to get through stuff. It's not easy, and there's a lot of things that can go sideways.
Listen, I'm having to apply. I'm going to work at Pizza Hut for a second job, and that is a hard pill to swallow, but I have to.
Got to do what you got to do.
I am going back to Winona. I'm moving back to Winona recently, and I'll keep working my job as a program coach with the Recovery Corps, but I'm going back. I need to be with my kids.
Okay.
It's time. I'm strong enough in my recovery, and I will do whatever it takes.
So
and if that means putting on a visor at Pizza Hut,
do it.
I'm going to do it. And
because that is going to make the difference in what happened in the past, so you can begin to rebuild. You personally are going to rebuild in your own way, as well as you're going to rebuild a relationship with these kids, and they're going to get the right story, or they're going to get the story, not the tainted story, and they're going to have to navigate that. And so children who come from substance use and abuse situations, this is a very true and honest situation that your children have a likelihood to struggle as they grow and go forward. And what we need to do, folks, is we need to recognize that your situations as a parent can impact your kids, but you can also interrupt that if you can get healthy.
I have the tools now to prevent and hopefully support them. My daughter is so confident and so strong. She is the best parts of me and better. And
she will persevere. And if she doesn't, you have the tools and the skills to help walk her through.
Yeah.
Well, Molly Posey, there's a story. Holy banana cakes. I got more than I bargained for, and I am so delighted. Well, thank you for listening. Molly, thank you.
You're welcome. I'm so glad I came here. I was so nervous.
I know, but you just had a conversation. Yes. Well, I want to thank you for being here, and I want to commend AmeriCorps and Recovery Corps for what they've done for
my members.
your members, what they
Yeah.
do for our community. Thank
Yes.
you for listening to Redefining Recovery, Recovery Revolution here on AM 950, the progressive radio station. Everybody have a wonderful day. Listen to the show, spread the show. If you have any last of the end of the year donations you need to make, info at minnesotarecovery.org or Caddy at Minnesota Recovery Connection. I love you. Bye-bye.